Hello, it's TheMightyJohnFu here with my top mod picks for Blade and Sorcery 8.3. These mods have all been downloaded on the Nexus mod site and all the links will be listed in the description. Also, please make sure you endorse the mod authors on Nexus for their efforts as well. They do this for no financial gain and help make the game what it is today. Now that that's out of the way, let's crack on. So first up is the Portable Item Spawner by BabySexyMonkey. It's just a quality of life improvement mod and it allows you to spawn any weapons or items on the fly and even travel to maps. You can do this through the book menu. You'll notice there are two extra icons in the book, one for the weapons and one for the maps. It's just a nice little addition and it saves you running to that book every damn time. Next up is the Spawner Spell Simple Framework by Ebediam. So essentially it allows you to spawn a weapon or item in your hand and then fire it. The way it works is if you have your spell equipped and then you equip your weapon of choice into that same hand, if you then press the trigger and the spell menu button at the same time, it should glow kind of yellow. Once you've done that, the weapon is then bound to the spell. So if your hand was empty and had the spell in it, if you press the spell wheel button, that will then spawn the weapon. If you were to press the trigger, that would fire the weapon. So if you have the daggers installed and you aim your hand at the sky and then fire 1,000 daggers, they'll all come raining down on the enemies. It's a pretty sweet mod to have, so I thought it was worth putting on the list. Next up is the Sands of Time mod by Wooly616. It's the same concept as the Prince of Persia games, you can freeze time and rewind time. There's a few limitations to it though, for example dismemberment doesn't exist, so you couldn't chop off a limb, rewind time and have that limb reattach. And I also don't think you can revive dead enemies. They will physically come back to you but they'll just flop back on the floor. There is a merge with this spell which allows you to freeze time. I think it only freezes time for a set amount of time, and I think the default is 30 seconds, so once you've cast a spell you'll have to wait 30 seconds for it to wear off. Although you can change this. If you go into the Blade and Sorcery main directory and then into Blade and Sorcery data, streaming assets, Sands of Time mod, spells, and then if you look out for the spell_SOT merge JSON file or JSON file, you'll be able to edit the value in there. All in all, it's worth at least keeping an eye on, and I think Wooly's done a great job with this. Following on strong, and one of my favourites, is the Earthbending mod by Davey3684 and Leo Vance Music. So it's by far the most impressive spell mod I've seen yet. Not only do you get a few core abilities from the spells such as rock summoning, rock pushes, rock spikes, earth shield, and weapon imbuements, you also get crazy merges with some of the core spells, including a new one that's required for this mod to work, the ice spell. There is a lot more to cover here and I don't want to spoil too much, so just download it and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's definitely worth adding to your list. Up next we have a weapon pack mod, the Proto Pack by Butters. It adds 4 weapons from their new Proto Industries line, and my god do I love that spear. The rugged design of the weapons really blends in well with the game's aesthetic, and they are all fully imbuable. The mod does require the Proto Category mod to be installed though, so make sure you do that first. Nicely done, Butters. Now, what better way to complement that spear than with TurnerK's stunning Apollo's Will shield mod. The details on the shield alongside the chains and spikes really make it stand out. For the gentleman with a more modern taste, we have Fisher's Elemental Guns by Swordfisher L42. So this mod is a gun framework for U8, adding 4 elemental pistols including a magnum. How it works is that it will fire elemental bullets depending on which spell you choose to imbue it with, so the bullet shot will match the current weapon spell. There are 3 different fire modes such as burst, semi and full auto, which can be cycled through by pressing the spell menu button. Swordfisher has kindly included an optional file download for left-handed users, which I thought was a nice little touch. There are also options for customisation and making your own gun mods, meaning this has enabled modders to use elemental guns as a base to complement their own mods, such as Magnus's Modern Weapons Pack by Magnus. This mod has 20 plus guns included such as a Glock, FNFAL, SCAR and MP5, all with a nice amount of texture detail. As with the previous mod, the guns are all imbuable and have 3 fire modes, semi-auto, 3 round burst and fully automatic. However, some guns like the minigun are only capable of fully automatic fire. Magnus has warned that the mod behaves weirdly when you install the Injury Reborn mod, so it's best to disable that first if you've got it installed. Swinging in next is Ebediam's Spider-Man Webshooting mod. This is an ambitious spell mod that grants you the ability to attach to and swing from surfaces, while allowing you to pull yourself in to increase momentum. While the execution leaves a little to be desired, it can be a lot of fun with the right maps installed, and mixes up the normally grounded playstyle that we're used to. You can use it by pressing the right trigger or the spellcast button when aiming at an object to create a bond, release the trigger to release the bond, and when you don't have a bond created, use the spell button to perform an air boost in the direction that the bond wire is facing. It cancels all your momentum so you can abruptly change your direction. Another entry here from BabySexyMonkey, which adds an additional fire spell to the game, is BlueFire 8.3. It's blue coloured and does slightly more damage and force than the regular fire spell. I like to have it just for the spell variety. While they're feeling generous, and I promise this is the last time I'll say their name, BabySexyMonkey has created SlotsPlus that will grant you an additional 6 slots for weapons and equipment, 1 on each wrist, 1 on your middle back, which you can access by putting your hand through your chest, 1 on each lower thigh near the knees, and 1 on your mouth, that's used for helmets and masks and the like. Next in is the Ninjam mod by DukeGoliath. This is a big weapon pack which adds a plethora of weapons like shurikens, a cool as shit wrist shooter, guns, a few helmets and masks. DukeGoliath has made an awesome pack here for any aspiring ninja. My favourite pieces are the masks and the wrist shooter. The wrist shooter is now always part of my loadout. This next mod is not for muggles. Mod author PyPop101 has created the genius Witchcraft and Wizardry mod with a load of bells and whistles. Not only are you able to cast up to 6 unique spells using a wand, also included are 2 maps, Diagon Alley and the Quidditch Field, the Sword of Gryffindor, the Basilisk Tooth, the Golden Snitch, which will actually attack enemies for you, and a rideable Nimbus 2000 broom, and more. The maps are really well presented, especially Diagon Alley. The wands are fun to use, and so is the broomstick, although it can be a bit fiddly to control. PyPop101 has a lot planned for this, so keep a close eye on this one. Just beware that the mod does rely on a couple of mods, Bazooka Item Shooter and Explosive Item Framework, and Magic Weapon Effects. I have included the links in the description, so make sure you install them first. Here are a few honourable mentions. If you're like me and you're not too keen on the vanilla base weapon swing speed, there have been many mods created over the months that increase the speed or make two-handed weapon swinging faster. One that currently works well with 8.3 is Fast Weapon Handling 8.3 by PyPop101. It doesn't exactly reinvent the wheel, but it gives me the option to play the way I want, and it works, so I'm grateful for that. If you find the spell casting a bit slow and you want it to be faster or even instant, author AstroPop78 has you covered. Faster spellcast or instant spellcasting. They've included both options under the files, faster or instant, and you just need to select the one you want to install and manually download it, and then install it into the streaming assets folder. And finally we have the Lightsaber pack by Leo Vance Music. I'm dropping this here as I know we are all patiently waiting for the UA update for the Outer Rim, and Leo Vance Music has kindly threw us a bone. It's not as grand as the Outer Rim mod, but it definitely helps fill the void. It has custom sounds and a red or blue option, so here's a big shout out for Leo. Just bear in mind this mod does require both Bowtie's modder utilities and Magic Weapon Effects 8.3, so make sure you install those first. So that's my top picks for Blade and Sorcery 8.3. If you like this or you want to see more videos like this, leave me a like and a sub, and thanks for watching.